Okay. So your exam 2 is on Monday. Eight AM to 8. Is so 5 to 7. 5 to 7.
Is there like an actual study guide, or should we just study old quizzes and homework and stuff?
So study all the quizzes, study all your homework.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, it will be so easy. If it's like 50 minutes exam, then
How many questions is it?
it will be easy. It's 100 points.
I say if you like drop like 5 questions from the last time, it would be easy.
Oh, last time it was big, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, just like I say, for the
I
time.
will reduce the number of questions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
So
like I say, not just like, I mean, even like 1 or 2.
So I can give you like, let's say 4 minutes per question. So if it's 4 minutes per question, then that means how many questions do you need?
Like 10,
So 50 over 4 is how many questions?
just do like 10.
Let's say 50, 52 over 4, 53 or 55, 56. Let's say 56 minutes over 4. That's how many? 14 questions, right?
14?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
So you can do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you 14 questions. So 4 minutes each.
Perfect.
4 minutes, yeah.
That would be outstanding. I appreciate, I mean,
It can't be like the questions that are like, have 2 questions in the same question.
No. Just 14 questions. Like even last time, I
there's
think.
14 questions and every one of them has.
Last
5
time, I
parts.
think, because last time I approximated, I put it at 3 minutes per question.
I got you.
I think last time, there were a lot of questions last time too.
Yeah, but I put it 3 minutes per question. So if today if tomorrow if there will be 14 questions, then that means they will be easy for you guys, right?
That's right.
So this section is a little bit, this from chapter 5 to 7 is a little bit harder than the previous one. Yeah. So it can be a little bit hard. So when we proceed, like the next section that we are doing, the next exam might be even harder than the first one and the second one. Because as we proceed, it becomes hard. But it's not hard if you study, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have any question?
Yeah. Can you do the questions?
Okay.
Very good. Let's go. One half
1/2.
plus 12 over x squared is greater than 5x. No, 5 over x.
5 over x. So how do you solve that? So what is the LCD? So LCD is 2x squared, right? Right?
Yep.
So our LCD is 2x squared because this one is able to divide this, okay? And there is 2 there. So we now multiply. So before you even do that, anyway, you can do that and then you make the other side to be what?
Zero.
0. So you can multiply everywhere by 2x squared. This one you do it the same way, 2x squared. So when you multiply 2x squared by 1 over 2, you get what? X squared, right?
Mhm.
Plus, when you multiply this by 2x squared, you get what?
24.
24. Is greater than what? And you multiply this by 2x squared, you get what?
And
10 what?
10.
10x, right?
Mhm.
You get 10x. So you now bring this one to
That
side. So you now bring this to the other side. So what do you get? You get to x squared minus 10x plus 24 is greater than what?
0.
0. So therefore, what are we looking for? The zeros, right? Because this one is over 1 and it cannot be undefined. So we're looking for the zeros. Okay? So therefore, then we equate this one to 0, right?
Mhm.
So the product is 24 and the sum is 10. So what are the two numbers? So x squared, is it minus 4x plus minus 6x
Mhm.
plus 24, right?
Okay.
So x minus 4 minus 6, x minus 4. So you get x minus 6, x minus 1, minus 4. So therefore, for this one so step number 1, we have done step number 1. Step number 1 was this, right? So this was step number 1. Step number 2 is this one. Step number 2. Step number 2. So you do what? You now have x equals to 6 and x equals to what?
Or 4.
4. So you now draw the what? This number line here. So you can put here 4 and then you can put here 6. So 0 there. You can put here minus 1. Okay? Now, we now use the what? So these are the what? These are the
Solution.
levels. So those are the levels. So at this point, you have minus infinity, 4, 4, 6, and then the last one is 6, infinity, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So we now use the trial and
Error.
error. So we have x minus 6, x minus 4 is greater than what? 0. So where can we try? We start from this side. When x is 0, so when x equals to 0, when x is equals to 0, is it satisfying this? Really?
Yes, it is.
It is satisfying, right?
Mhm.
Because x is 0, so you remain with minus 6.
Yeah.
X is 0 here, you remain with minus 4. So minus 6 times minus 4 is
Positive.
positive 24. So that one is satisfying. So therefore, this side is satisfying. Now, when x is 4, when x is 4, so when x is 4, so it will be 0, right?
Mhm.
The whole of it will be 0, right? Because this is 4 minus 4 is 0. So is 0 greater than 0? No. So therefore, we are not including 4. So our first interval notation will be minus infinity 4, like that. Okay? Then we come to the next level here. We can pick anything. Between 4 and 6 is 5, right?
Mhm.
So we can put 5 there.
It's not gonna work.
So 5 minus 6, 5 minus 4. Is this one greater than 0? Already we have a negative here. right? And we have a positive here. So a negative cannot be greater than 0. So therefore, this region is not satisfying that. Your analogy is making sense, huh? But no, you need to try. So we come to the last one here. When you put 6, then it will not satisfy because 6, it will give us 0.
0.
Okay, when we put 7 there, so 7 minus 6, 7 minus 4, is this greater than 0?
Yes.
Yes. So then it will now be minus infinity 4 union 6 infinity. Okay?
All right.
Yeah, so just like that. So you need to get the ones which I'm giving you zeros, and then use the steps that we did. Zeros or undefined. Then you use the steps. Any other question? So there was a question I was doing like in the morning from your quiz. I think number so it is v minus 10 all over v square minus 5v plus 4 equals to 3 all over v minus 1 minus 6 all over v minus 6. Did everyone see something like this? So solve this one, or yeah, so here we get the what? LCD. So what is the LCD of this?
V minus 1, V minus 6.
Are you sure?
If I'm really certain.
Okay, so let's factorize this, okay? Let's look for the factors of v square minus 5v plus 4. Factors are what? V square minus what? V minus 4v plus 4, right? Right?
Yeah. Sure.
So v minus 1 minus 4, v minus 1. So v minus 4, v minus 1. Yeah, I also made a mistake when I was grading. I had to go back and check it because I thought it is this and this, so it was wrong. Now we have this and this, and we have this one and this one. So therefore, our LCD will be what? V minus 4, V minus 1, and V minus 6. V minus 6. And then you now put it back here. So when you multiply this and that, you get what? V minus 10, V minus what? 6, right? The first one. Equals to, the second one will be 3. V minus 6, V minus what? 4. Minus 6. The last one is the all of this, right? V square minus 5v plus 4. So when you open these brackets, what do you get?
V squared.
You get v square minus 6v minus 10v plus 60 equals to 3v squared minus 4v minus 6v minus plus 24 minus, when you open all of these brackets, you get 6v squared plus 13v minus 24, right? Yep. So v squared minus what? 16v plus 60 equals to
3v squared.
So this is, so 3v squared, this one is what?
Minus 10.
Minus 10, right? So it will be minus 30v plus 672 minus 6v squared plus 30v minus 24. Okay, collect the like terms. V squared 3, so v squared minus, so we have this, and this. So you take all of it to the other side. So v squared minus 3v squared, right?
-2.
To -2. We bring this one, so -2 plus 6.
+4.
So 4v squared. This one and this. So 6, bring the 30 to the other side. So it will be plus, right? So minus 16 plus 30. 14. 14, bring this one, which is the minus, right? So 14 minus 30 is what? Say 16? Negative, so -16. We have 60 here. 60, bring the 72 to the other side. You get minus what?
12.
Minus 12. Bring the 24 plus 24. You get what? 12 equals to 0. Okay. So what is our greatest common factor here? 4, right? So v squared minus 4v plus what? 3 equals to 0. So so you have what?
-3.
-3, -1. So v squared minus 3v minus 3 plus 3 equals 0. So our v minus 3, 1 minus 1, v minus 3. So that means we have v minus 3, v minus 1 equals to 0. So therefore, our answer is v equals to 3 and v equals to 1. Some of you are getting one value here. I don't know how.
Newton gives us undefined if we do one that turns to 0. So it won't let us do the one value since we'll make it undefined.
Yeah, that's weird.
What? Undefined?
The v minus 1, it won't let us do v equals 1 as a solution since it'll make that one undefined.
V minus 1? Oh, you're saying v equals to 1? Or?
Yeah, with the equals 3 over v minus 1.
Oh, when you put v equals to 1.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get your point. I get what you mean. Yeah, it can give us undefined when v equals to 1. So that is 1, 4. So it will become undefined here, right? But also here, we have v minus 1, which will be 0, becomes undefined again. So our answer, basically, we are looking for v. So our answers are this one. So v equals to 3 and v equals to 1. Because if you say it is undefined, then that means you're not solving for v. Because we are trying to use the LCD. So because we've converted this one to this, then it will not become undefined. Yeah. Finally, this are our answers. So I don't know how you were getting 3 only and you're leaving. How did you get 3 and you left 1?
What do you mean?
I,
This was on the
you got
quiz,
3,
right?
right?
It was on, this was our quiz, not Newton, right?
Yeah, it was a quiz.
Yeah.
So you were getting 3.
No, I got 3 and 1.
Oh, you got 3 and 1?
Yes.
Oh,
I didn't.
you did not complete it. You said it's undefined. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I got the wrong answer.
I'm almost for sure I got pull my quiz up right now.
And,
Yeah, I got 3 and 1.
Oh,
I got it.
all right. So if you don't have any other questions, then we can go to section 8.1. Or you have any other questions? So read your quizzes, read your homework, study your homework, and then do a lot of practice. You have time, right? You have today, you have tomorrow, you have Sunday, you have Monday morning. So you can read today chapter 5, tomorrow you read chapter 6, Sunday you read chapter 7, and then Monday you revise, then you're done. Okay, so let's come to section 8, which is chapter 8, so 8.1, and this one is simplify. Expressions with rules. So this chapter is basically dealing with the rules and radicals. The rules and radicals. So simplification of the rules. So I know you've done a lot of rules. So let's say you have n, let's say square. So we usually say this one is square of what? Right? We usually say square of n. So, and this n is what? Square, right? So n square of n. Then when you only have n is now the square root. N is the square root. So let's say you have n squared equals to n squared equals to n. So m is the square of n. Okay. And n is the square root of m, right? So m is the square of n, and n is the square root of m. So n is the square root of m. So again, every positive number has two square roots. every positive number has two square roots. Like let's say the square root of, let's say, 16. Square root of 16 is similar to plus or minus 4. Square root of 16 is similar to plus or minus 4. Because 16 is the same as plus or minus 4 square, right? Because when you square plus 4, you get 16. When you square minus 4, is equals to minus 4 times minus 4, which is equals to 16. Is equals to 16. Now, minus the square root of 16, minus the square root of 16 is just similar to what? Minus what? Minus 4. Okay? Because the square root of 16 is giving us the real number. The real number. But now, the square root of minus 16, we don't have the what? It is empty. We don't have the, it is not given. So this is not real number. So what number are we getting? We are getting the complex number, right? Complex number. So mostly now in Newton, you can be told to solve the square root of, let's say, minus 16. So if n here is positive, not even odd, okay? If n is odd here, and the value of the this, if this is positive, let's say this is positive, like let's say 2, okay. Not positive, odd. If that one is, what am I writing? This is even. If this is even, like the root, the square root, the fourth root, the sixth root, and this one is minus here, then it will not give us a what? A real number. It will not give us a real number. So we can write something like that. You have something like this, A, and let's say that one is N. The nth root of A. So this is saying as the nth root of A. If that one is the nth root of A, when n is even, when n is even, let's say even number, and this A is greater or equals to 0. If this A is greater or equals to 0, then if that nth root is real number. If this is even, like 2, 4, 6, if this n is like 2, 4, 6, and this A is greater or equals to 0, it can be 0. The square root of 0 is what? 0, right? The square root of the cube root of 0 is still 0. So if this one is, if this n is even, the square root of the fourth root of sixth root, like that, and this A is greater or equals to 0, then the square, the nth root is what? Is a real number. the nth root is a real number. Now, when if a is less than 0, okay, then and this one is positive and n is positive. Why am I saying positive? And n is even. And n is even, then it will not give us, so no real number. So this nth root here, so nth root there is not a real number. Not real number. Now, when n is now an odd number, the nth root of a is a real number for all a. Now, when this n here is odd, so it doesn't matter whether this one is minus or plus, it will still give us a real number. It doesn't matter for all a. So this can be minus, this can be plus, so it will still give us a real number. If this is odd, like 3, like 5, like 7. If we put it like that, it will still give us a real number. Any question up to there? So example number 1. Example number 1. Simplify the square root of 16 plus the square root of 36. Simplify the square root of 16 plus the square root of 36. So what is the square root of 16? 4. What is the square root of the 36? This one is equals to what? 10. That is equals to that. The square root of minus 4. So if you are just given this sign here without n there, then that means this one is just the square root. We don't actually put 2 here. If it is a square root, you just put it like that. So it's standard. So that means this is what? Even, right? So if this one is even, and this value is less than 0, then it is not giving us a real number. So we can put this one as well. And so we can just put it like that. Again, if that one is minus, let's say 81. Again, this one is what? Even. So if this one is even, and this one is less than 0, then this is what? This. No. So this is also. Now, when you have the cube root of minus, let's say 125. So therefore, this is odd. And you say it is odd, then it will give us real number if for all one, for all of this value. So then You can factorize 125, and 125 is what? Is equals to 5. Is it 5 raised to 3?
Yeah. Sure.
So 5 raised to 3. And you know that minus 5 raised to 3 is still similar to what? Negative what? 125, right? It is still similar to negative 125. Now, this is equals to the cube root of negative 5 raised to what? Raised to 3, right? Right? And basically, this will give us what? Minus 5. Then give us minus 5. Okay. Now again, simplify 9m squared, the square root. So the square root of 9m squared. So that is what? So this is the same as the square root of 3 square m squared, and which is giving us 3 m, giving us 3. So you can because you know that we know that if you're given the nth root of a, this is similar to a raised to what? A raised to 1 over n, right? Right? So this is similar to a raised to 1 over n. A raised to 1 over n. Now, when you come here, then 9m squared, the square root is similar to 3 square m squared raised to what? 1 over 2, right? Then now you distribute the what?
1.
The power. So you get 3, 2 times 1 over 2, m 2 times 1, 1 over 2. And then you get what?
3.
3. Get 3. So that's what we did for the previous time on exponents. Exponents. Simplify 25z raised to 6, the square root of 25z raised to 6. So 25z raised to 6 is similar to 5 square z raised to what? 6, the square root, right? Which is equals to 5 square z raised to 6. All this raised to what? 1 over 2. And basically, this is the same as 5, then z raised to what?
3.
Z raised to 3. Now, since we are solving this, if that one is even, we know that previously we said if this is square and this is, let's say, 4, yeah, or we just write the square root of 4. This is similar to plus or minus 1. Now, since we don't want to put plus or minus 2, then what we do is the square root of 4 equals to, we use the absolute value, like that, okay? We just use the absolute value. So this is the absolute value. So this is taking care of plus and minus. So this is taking care of the plus and minus.
You always have to write it that way?
Yes. So when we go back here, the this one. Then our final answer, since we don't want to put the plus or minus, then we put what? The absolute value of what? 3. Again, so this is the absolute value. Again, this one will be what? Since this one is even, then this is what? The absolute value. The absolute value of 5z cubed. Okay? So don't forget this sign. So if you don't want to put this sign, then you must put the plus or minus because you're getting 2 values, which is plus 5z cubed and minus 5z cubed.
So you say you can do one or the other?
So actually, the best one is to use this.
Okay.
Yeah. So this one is the recommended one in mathematics. Again, if you have the 6th root of, let's say, x raised to 18, 6th root of x raised to 18. So this is similar to what? X raised to what? 18 raised to 1/6, which is equals to x raised to what? 3. So we must put the absolute value since this one is what? If. Since that one is even. Since it is even. Finally, if you have the 4th root of y raised to 20, then this is similar to y raised to 20, then all this raised to what? 4. And this one is y raised to 5. Then we put the absolute value. Absolute value. So that is it for section 8.1.
So you only put the absolute value and.
So if this one is even, if this one is odd,
You don't want to put the absolute value.
so because you're getting any value, then you don't have to put the absolute value. Okay, like what we got here for the odd, let's say this 125 here. So we don't put the absolute value. So we just leave our answer as -5.
Because it's odd.
So if you put the absolute value, then it will change to positive because the absolute value is the one which changes the value to positive. The absolute value of -5 is 5. Correct. Yeah. Okay, so if you don't have any other question there, we can meet on Monday via Zoom to do your exam. So the link is just the same.
All right, perfect.
And we don't have to take the exam unless you really want to.
No, you have to do the exam. If you check,
Oh, you don't have to.
if you check my,
Not recommended.
if you check the what do you call it, the syllabus, it says there is no makeup.
There's no makeup.
Yeah. So if you miss the exam, unless you're very sick,
Do we get to drop any quizzes or tests in this?
yeah, I will drop some of the quizzes,
You will.
but I will not drop the exam.
You know,
Okay, the exam is the quizzes, but I don't think I can drop the homework. But
right,
I'll just drop some of the quizzes. Which
correct.
I can pick like 5 or 6 quizzes or 7, depending on how you perform.